Welcome to Podcast Sound Advice, the place for up-to-date podcast tactics and trends. You'll find actionable strategies to help you grow your audience, expand your influence, and monetize your content. Join Phyllis and Kelvin for Podcast Sound Advice starting now.
Welcome to Podcast with Sound Advice. My name is Kelvin Nichols, and I want to welcome you to the initial installment of Tech Tuesdays on Podcasting with Sound Advice. On Tuesdays, I'll be dropping a few pearls of wisdom on you regarding how to get the best audio when recording your podcast. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've always been a bit of a nerd, always into new technology. For the last several years, I've been editing and producing podcasts, and for the last 17 years, I've been an AV design engineer, an AV programmer, and I've installed, configured, and programmed sound and video systems in everything from home theaters to boardrooms and auditoriums. On this podcast on Tuesdays, we'll talk about microphones, dynamic versus condenser, how to place them, their location, some do's and don'ts, headphones, whether you should or shouldn't wear them. By the way, you should. How to record, best methods of recording, software to use while recording, such as GarageBand, Audacity, Adobe Audition, and a number of others. We'll talk about interview recording methods, such as Zoom, Zencastr, Squadcast, Skype, and others. We'll also talk about whatever else I think might be helpful to help you get your best sound. Today on our initial Tech Tuesday, I want to talk about your environment. Now, my environment currently is my home office. In my home office, I have a window to my left. It has drapes in front of it right now. I have carpet on the floor. I have a glass desk. I have large walls with large monitors on them and a fairly open room. So you might get some reverberation in this room, but not too bad. However, if a car drives by outside or a plane flies over, you will hear that. Location-wise, obviously the best place would be a studio. Now, a recording studio with acoustical treatments and expensive mics and state-of-the-art digital recording equipment. Obviously, not everyone will have the ability to rent a studio for recording. Otherwise, you can record pretty much anywhere. Now, if I'm going to be the one editing your podcast, I would really prefer you not to record outside. The reason kind of seems obvious to me, but you have absolutely no control over your environment. You can't make the wind stop blowing or the trees stop rustling or the dog stop barking 3 houses down or anything else. So best not to record outside. So if you're going to be recording at home, my suggestion would be to find a place in your home where you have complete quiet, which is probably not going to happen. So we'll go with relative quiet. A walk-in closet would be ideal if you have one. The clothing will actually act as an acoustical sound panel and help deaden the reverberating sound waves so you don't get that echo. If you and your equipment can fit in a walk-in closet, by all means, record there. Now, if you don't have a walk-in closet, then find a room that has lots of soft surfaces, drapes, carpeting, rugs, cloth furniture, anything that will help break up sound waves. Try not to record in open rooms that have nothing but hard surfaces, like a dining room with a large dining room table with nothing but drywall. That's a lot of hard surfaces. Hardwood floors, like my wife's office happens to have nothing but hard surfaces. She has a wooden desk and hardwood floors and a wooden bookcase and wooden furniture. And without special treatment, her office can sound like she's in a cavern. Try to stay away from as many hard surfaces as possible. There are ways to mitigate some of the echoes from hard surfaces, and we can discuss that on another Tech Tuesday. While you're recording, be conscious of the environment and the things around you. A lot of people forget about things like the HVAC, whether the air conditioning or your furnace kicks on while you're recording. You may not pay much attention to it, but in your recording at this point, you'll have this nice little sound in your recording that may not be able to be removed or lessened. Laptop and PC fans have somewhat of the same effect. I might be even picking up my laptop fan right now. Depending on your type of mic and your settings and the environment, the fan noise can get recorded also. So if your computer is working overtime and sounds like an airplane about to take off, you might want to close some stuff or possibly even restart your PC or laptop before you begin. That way, the minimum items that you need running will be running. If your mic is not on an isolation mount, which is another discussion for another Tuesday, and it's sitting on your desk, say, in front of you on a little tripod or something, try not to tap your desk or tap the mic or the stand or actually anything else touching the stand that's attached to the mic. I've even heard people over the years who, I don't know if they're tapping the desk leg or something, but it shakes the mic and it makes a noise in the recording. So just be conscious of where your mic is at and whether it's anywhere near your fan on your PC or near the vent on your HVAC. Just be conscious of those kinds of things. You should silence any kind of phones, your desk phone or your cell phone. Turn off all your device notifications on your phones and on your PC or your laptop. There's nothing worse than recording some awesome content and then right in the middle of it you get ding. That's not good. Anyway, you get the idea. Silence notifications on PCs, laptops, phones, whatever. Lock up your dog, maybe your kids and your significant other to ensure that you won't be interrupted by recording. Or I suppose you could just lock the door that you're in, but that doesn't mean they won't knock on it. So handle that accordingly. Be aware of the area you live in. Is there a lot of street noise outside that you can hear? Do you hear cars going up and down the street? Lots of sirens. I had one podcast client at one point who recorded, and she lived near a fire station. It was difficult, but you have to be conscious of those kind of things. Are the mowers due next door or across the street? Because if they're near the window that you're going to be recording next to or in the room that you're going to be recording next to, we're going to hear mowers. Do you live in the flight path of an airport? I do. That's why I record late at night, to try to minimize the amount of airplanes that go over. You'd be surprised, though, at how many podcasts are recorded with mowers, trucks, planes, cars, and all kinds of other assorted noise that present themselves while recording. If you can, cover up hard surfaces. If you're next to a window, close the curtains. If you have a glass desk or a hard surface desk, you might want to consider covering it with some type of towel or blanket to help minimize reverberating sound off your desk. You can do the same thing with your walls in regards to hanging blankets. If your environment is horrible and there's nothing else you can do, throw a blanket over your head with your microphone just to reduce room reflections and other noises. You'd be surprised how much it'll help. Now, I'm not saying that's a comfortable means of recording. I'm just saying it would deaden the sound around you. Anything sounds better, to be honest about it, than you sounding like you're in a cavern and your voice continues to echo around when you're done speaking. Just be conscious of that. I don't have any blankets on my walls in this office. You be the judge in regards to how you think it sounds. You could always go the route of acoustical wall and corner treatments, anything from egg crate type acoustical foam to high-end and somewhat expensive decorative acoustical panels. They will help placed strategically around the room, would help if you're in an office or someplace, like I mentioned with my wife. You can deaden some of that reverberating sound. Whatever you can hear, there's a good chance the mic can probably hear it too. Thanks for stopping by to listen to today's tips. If you like what you heard, by all means, rate, review. If there's a question you'd like to have answered on the tech side of podcasting, then by all means, leave me a comment and I'll do my best to get you an answer. Until next time.
That's our wrap for this episode. We hope you found today's sound advice helpful. Let us know what you think by leaving us a review. You can get more resources at podcastsoundadvice.com. Until next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.